I have two dynamic disc defenders, a biofusion defender and a fusion defender. These work great for a disc that has a lot of glide, but you can still throw it in heavy winds and still have a lot of predictability with it. Great long distance drivers.
I carry, as you can see, 5 of them. The reason I carry 5 is each one of them actually does fly different, with the exception of maybe a couple of them fly relatively close to each other, but it's always nice to have a backup in the bag. I've had this one in the bag since the Defender came out, so it is my more distance defender, so if I need to get a little hyzer flip out of it or get it to hold the right line a little bit and then finish left, that's when I reach for that guy. I've got the Sparkle Radius Defender in the bag. This one is similar to the Disc Golf Answer Man one in the bag right now, meaning it's very overstable. I can pretty much trust it if I need to throw it relatively flat with a lot of power and know that it's gonna finish off to the left. Or if it's quite a bit of wind, that's when I'll reach for that Defender. Then I've also got the Hand-Eye one and the Zach Melton Signature Edition. Both of these are more beat in, a little bit more power I can put behind them on a little bit more of an Anheuser line, and it's gonna hold that straight line just a little bit longer and get a little bit more distance than my other two more overstable ones.
These are for most of my big bomber shots. I like to throw these really hard, get them to flex, and always finish nicely in the fairway. The orange one's a little more stable. I can really rip on this and trust that it'll go a long way, where the clear one's a little more beat up and I get some more flex and even some hyzer flip out of it. So really, really nice and reliable.
One is my signature for World fundraiser disc, and it's a Bio Defender, and I throw it on a hyzer. It comes up straight. It might have a little Annie at the end. I just throw it and it just keeps bombing. Just keeps bombing out there. This is my go-to distance driver right now. And I have a Lucid team stamp on there. It's a Lucid Defender. I throw this one in a hyzer. Comes up straight. Might have a little Annie, so it's one of my controllable distance drivers.
I got this disc at the Glass Blown Open last year, and it's been in my bag ever since. And when I first got it, it was really overstable, but went a pretty good long ways. And now that I've beat it in a lot, it just kind of turns over a little bit and still comes back at the end, but it's a good quality disc.
I would say the Defender is probably my go-to distance driver. The first two I want to talk about are both Fusion, and they're both 167, as you can see. The yellow one has been used a little bit more than the pink. The pink is new to the bag. But the reason why I have these in the bag, if you can see, they're very flat for a Defender, which is rare, I think. Most of the time you get a little bit of dome on them, which is great. But the flat ones I love to throw sidearm. It's where they're flatter, it's a little bit more shallow. It feels great in the hand for a sidearm, as you can see. These are my go-to sidearm distance drivers. These are the only two pretty much you'll see me use most of the time. The yellow one I put in the bag early in the year. Actually picked it up from Pluto Sports, I believe, in Knoxville on my way to Emporia. I just stopped to check out the shop and just happened to find this really flat gem, and I decided to try it out. You'll see any video probably in the last year, if it's a sidearm and it's yellow and it's a longer shot, probably around 350 or longer, it's going to be this Fusion Defender. Used it a lot at Beaver State, at Worlds, and Iron Hill the last 3 tournaments. Starting to get a little seasoned where it goes a little straighter, so I decided to put a new one in the bag, and here we got Pinky. Started throwing it the last 3 weeks. Flies exactly like the yellow one did when it was brand new. It's great. It still holds a straight line, and then it has a nice, dependable hyzer at the end of it. So, love the Defender. The next 3 are all Biofusion. I love the Biofusion plastic, very tacky, very grippy. The first one I got these 2 blueberries. This one was given to me by Jonathan Ray, J. Ray, at Gentleman's Club. I had a twin to this, threw it in the water, and he goes to his RV and pulls out the exact same disc and gave it to me, which that was a lifesaver. And it's been in my bag since then. I've thrown it at every tournament. This has been my go-to distance driver this year. The Biofusion has a nice pop to it. They're very overstable, and then the more you use them, the straighter and longer they go. But the Defender is probably my favorite distance driver I've ever thrown. Very fast, very overstable, goes very far. This one you can see, Scott had the most wear on it, starting to be kind of my long distance bomber now. So it was time to put in a new one. And I don't know if you can see that signature, it's got the Paige Pierce. This came from her backups. She knew I loved my blueberry, and that's what she calls it. She said, hey, I got another blueberry for you. Brand new, pop top, and I've been using it for like the last 3 weeks. Very, very long flyer. It's got a little bit more hyzer than the first one, and love using this. This is probably my most thrown one now. The other one is probably the long distance smasher, and this is the one that gets pulled on the most. And I also have a third Biofusion Defender. This has got the quad team stamps on it. Looks really cool. It's the most overstable. It's been in the bag for a few weeks. Definitely wanted to put it in there in case wind picks up and I want a really, really beefy Defender. And that's why this is in here.
And I really like them. I carry 3 different ones. I have one that's real beat in. You'll notice a theme with me and a lot of pros is we keep discs that are beat in because we like to work them in. We like to get them into stages of wear where we can control them a little differently than they are out of the box. But this one's super beat in. I use it for sidearms, long tailwind drives, things like that. I have a kind of medium beat in one, and it's just great for low flat shots. I can just crank it low and flat and it'll just go straight with a heavy fade at the end, which is really nice in Texas. We have a lot of hyzer shots, so that's beneficial. The last one I have is one of the Sparkle Defenders. DD makes these and they're fan-stinking-tastic. Super overstable. I threw it today in a lot of big headwinds. Never had an issue with it fading out. It went dead straight in the headwind, faded hard. It was really fantastic.
I carry 2 in my bag. One is the Paige Pierce Signature Biodiffusion Defender, and then I also have just a Wheat Shield stamped Biodefender. Again, a little bit too much of a disc for my arm speed, but I do like to have them in here for utility. If there's really major headwind, these are great, and I know I can rely on these to hold up really well in a headwind.
I prefer it in the Biofusion. I feel like it gets a little bit more glide and gets me the farthest potential in the disc. I like the domey ones that feel a little bit stiffer. I feel that the dome kind of allows some wind to get under it and carry a little bit longer. I throw these in actually a 168 range, 170 maybe. I can really torque on these and turn them and they will come back to the left. Or if I want a long range overstable disc, for a longer hyzer, this is what I'll go with.
Defenders for me are great on hyzers. For some reason I like them a lot more on hyzers than I like on really flat shots or turnovers. They just seem to carry a little bit farther for me, so I'll throw these anytime I have a big hyzer. This blue one's a little bit more overstable and the yellow one's pretty worked in, but these are both pretty good flyers for me. I'll use these, like I said, big hyzers, and this one will even go straight or turn over if I need it to. Mostly just for bomber type shots.
I have one Defender in the bag right now. It's Biofusion, and this is pretty well worn. When I throw it out there though, I can get an exceptionally long flight that's going to come into a hyzer, so I can throw it flat, and because it's so beat in, it'll turn over a little bit and ride, and then come back out of it and just go, go, go. And this one is into a headwind, or if I have, a low ceiling, this is my go-to for distance.